As we approach the millennium, activities like camping in the wilderness or living close to Mother Earth are becoming increasingly more popular amongst vacationers, and with good reason. First, they're the perfect therapy for both body and soul. They create the perfect retreat from the constant pounding of modern urbanization, and most importantly, they create a spiritual bond between ourselves and our ancestors. Hi everybody, I'm Angelo Viola. On this week's Outdoor Journal, we're going to experience a time when, camping in the wilderness or living close to Mother Earth served a totally different purpose. It was a way of life. We're in Southquill Camp, or more commonly known by the locals, now let's see if I can get this right, Shawanigwanip, or Shawanigwanip Kipichuan. We're in Riding Mountain National Park, Manitoba, Canada. And the teepees that you see behind me are almost identical to the ones that were commonly used as shelter across the Great Buffalo Plains of North America a few hundred years ago. But today they play a totally different role. You see, they're part of a unique eco-tourist destination that's garnering worldwide attention, and with good reason. Here you don't just experience camping, you experience life itself. My host for this episode is Morris Shanakapo, who is the program developer and turned marketing director for the Southquill Camp.
Right.
Thank you, partner, for having us aboard. This is going to be, I have a feeling about this shoot. It's going to be a great event. I'm really looking forward to it. Do you want me to try the proper name for the camp?
Sure.
All right. I blew it in the opening. I'm going to try it now. Shawanigwanip. Nip. Kippy.
Chiwin.
That's right. I knew I was going to get it. Why don't you tell them what it's supposed to sound like?
Shawanigwanip Kibichiwin.
That's what I thought I would say. Obviously, I'm not. Anyways, there it is behind us. I'm fascinated. On the way in, we stopped by and did a preliminary check of some of the village itself. It looks very authentic. I've read the brochures. The experience that people get here is totally different, I understand, from a normal camping experience, in that there's a lot more that goes on. Tell me a little bit about the operation.
There's a great fascination for Indian authentic native products, such as ecotourism,
Sure.
Outdoor camping, and generally getting the feeling of how it would have been camping, or how it would have been the lifestyle of native peoples, say 100, 200 years back. And so we try and date back and try stick within our authenticity of how our people would have lived. Our elders feel that it's very important now that we start to share a lot of our old teachings, because in general our people have always lived in harmony with nature.
Yeah.
And therefore this is what the message that we want to share with the rest of the world. We do have a message which is to share traditional teachings of yesterday with environmental teachings of today, so that we may ensure our tomorrows.
I understand there's a powwow happening here. I just happen to be here at the right time. Are we going to be able to participate, or at least get our cameras in to shoot it, or is it sort of taboo?
No, most definitely you will participate. I have a long list waiting for you. Some of it may be kind of surprising for you, but we do definitely want to be good hosts.
Well,
we've
so
learned
far
that,
so good.
We've learned that since childhood, so therefore we're going to give you the best of what we have, as well as participating in our powwow, in our dances, and I think we're even going to try and suit you up here.
Well, I don't know about that, but hey, I'm willing to try just about anything. You know, the dancing part, we'll have to wait and see.
Hopefully by the end of the event I can get you in some shape and some form of our tribal dancing.
Well, only one way we'll ever find out.
Time will
do it.
Yes.
I just have to get out there and experience it. So if you'll be gracious enough to get me along here and hold my hand through the whole event.
I certainly will.
Excellent. Let's do it, buddy.
Okay.
In many native cultures, the words of the elders are held in high regard. Francis Shanakapo, Morris's father, is one of the advisors here at the camp.
There are plenty of things that visitors can take with them when they leave from the Southquill Camp here. There's wellness that they can take with them from living out here in the forest. There is learning to love and to share with all mankind, and learning to be brothers with everyone of God's creation. Just small teachings, even that came from the animals, teachings of the animals that they can also take back with them to their countries or wherever they're from.
Of course, I would recommend that to everybody which wants to come back to connect more with Mother Earth, to come back and know about herbs. One of my big loves is medicine herbs. I have studied them for a lot of years in different parts of the world. And I think it's pretty important that we have the connection again back to Mother Earth, together with the whole spirituality which it brings.
Now that we've established the geography and history of this magnificent wilderness experience, it's time to see some of the real magic that sets it apart from any other camping trip that you've ever been on. But first, this week's Surviving the Outdoors.
Today, when we go hiking, we have, for the most part, the great pleasure of having well-marked hiking trails. So most people feel confident enough to tromp right on in without the aid of a map. Well, one wrong turn and you could be lost. Now there's two types of maps. There are planimetric maps, which show the land at all one level, like you see in an atlas. And then there's topographic maps. These show all the physical features of the land. These are the ones we use for hiking. Not all topographic maps are the same, but most use similar symbolism. The color green is used for woodlands, lighter red or brown is used for land elevation, blue for water, and black represents anything man-made. Trails and highways vary from map to map. These are all found in the legend, along with conversion scales for distance and the contour intervals for land elevation. These lines show the amount of elevation above sea level. If the lines are close together, there's a steep hill or cliff, and if they're far apart, it shows that there is a gentle slope. Now this map is metric, and the trail is marked to be 6 kilometers, and even though it's a well-marked trail, I'm still going to familiarize myself with the physical features I see around me to those on the map, just so I can learn some land navigation. Now there's a cabin right over there. Directly behind me is the road, and the trail goes that way, which according to the map is northwest. So let's go. What a great place to stop and realign myself. I'm on a bit of a ridge, the stream's just down there, and the bridge is just behind me. They're all on the map. Now you don't have to stop and realign yourself all the time, but what a great way to learn how to read maps. The more knowledge you have about reading maps, the safer you'll be and the quicker you'll get home.
Coming up, we learn the fine art of roach making, then track down one of Canada's giants of the plains. And now, back to the Outdoor Journal. Shawanaguanip Kipichuan, or Southquill Camp, got its name from Chief Southquill. He was an Anishinaabe leader in the 1800s and negotiated land for his people. This protected the sacred mountain from the settlers who were moving west, and the Anishinaabe culture and history that had been passed down from generation to generation would be safe. Now, on these same lands, visitors could come and see how those traditions have survived. I've seen many places where you go to observe native song, dance, and way of life. But here at Shawanaguanip Kipichuan, visitors can live the life. You can stay in a real teepee and awake to the sights, sounds, and smells of a time when people and nature actually lived together in peace and harmony. It worked hundreds of years ago, and it still works today.
It's even better because we're really meeting the native First Nation peoples, and they're telling us so much about their legends and the way they live and the way they used to live, and that's really fascinating.
Yes, they're quite a warm people, and they're prepared to talk about their way of life and their beliefs and so on, which is really nice.
I'm with Dennis Shanakapo, reputed as being the only person in this area, not reputed, I guess it's a reality, that makes the ceremonial headdress called a roach, is it, Dennis?
Roach is another name for it.
They're just an incredible piece of craft, the way it's meticulously put together. Hopefully you'll share some of those secrets with us. Not everything, but hopefully some, Dennis.
Yeah,
what have we got here?
This is my work area.
Okay.
Like this is the frame, and it's where a string line that I tie roach hair on.
Okay.
And
Now you call it roach hair.
Yeah.
Why do you call it roach? This is not has nothing to do with roach, right?
it's well, not to the finished product is a roach, but when I work with it, that's the closest I can come to explaining my work.
Is roach hair. Okay.
Roach hair.
But in fact, what kind of hair we got here?
Okay, the white hair. This year white hair is deer tails,
Okay.
jumper tails, which normal jumper tail looks like this.
Yeah.
Deer tail.
Okay.
And
you're using
I
just
only
the
use
white.
the white
Yeah.
part of the tail, and the other part of the roach is the porcupine hair. And
Okay, so that's that long part that I see.
long part on-
so that's porcupine. Incredible work. Incredible work, Mr. I understand it takes hours and hours and hours doing this stuff.
yes, I can estimate about 2 inches takes 1 hour.
2 inches takes one. How many inches in total would you have in
Okay, one row is 42 inches.
one row?
One row is 42 inches.
Okay, and how
And
many
it
rows?
takes 3 rows to do one roach.
3 rows.
3 rows.
You're a very patient man. And when it comes to patience, that's what one needs to catch a photo of the King of the Plains as we find out on this week's Off the Beaten Path.
That's nice. That's nice. I tell you, folks, I've always been fascinated with nature, be it insects, birds, reptiles, whatever. As a matter of fact, the other night I was watching television and I had to fight for the TV. Get this, it was between a National Geo documentary on great white sharks and the nanny. I won. Thank you. And it seems that everybody's real fascination is big game. And myself living in North America, I'm very fortunate to possibly encounter moose, deer, bear, elk, caribou, etc., etc. But the one animal that seems to be most interesting is the bison. And here in Riding Mountain National Park, Manitoba, Canada, the bison is alive and doing quite well. Hey, big guy, just move a bit there for me. The bison, or more commonly called buffalo, has to be one of the hardiest, most durable, and tough creatures ever created. They once numbered over 60 million in North America, and then dropped to about 100 animals in 1889. That's extremely close to extinction. Remarkably though, through good management, they now number over 40,000 in Canada alone. That's a survivor. The bison is the largest land mammal native to the Western Hemisphere. A big bull can weigh up to 2,400 pounds, have a shoulder height of up to 6 feet, and a body length of around 11 feet. A large cow measures somewhat smaller than the males and can weigh up to about 1,200 pounds. They have an extremely coarse, dense coat of fur, enabling them to endure harsh northern winter conditions. Hopefully, places like the Lake Audie Bison Range in Riding Mountain National Park can keep these amazing creatures and their feeding grounds going for many years to come. The bison is now not considered an endangered species. However, the grasslands in which they feed are. So as you can see, these guys are a pretty tough creature. To be so close to extinction and then come back to the numbers that we have today. Now you can also see why they were such an easy target. To be able to get this close to them, and they don't even care. But that's okay. Today we can take advantage of that, get a real nice close look at how they lived hundreds of years ago. And this is perfect.
Today's Outdoor Journal takes us to Canada's province of Manitoba and a few steps back in time, experiencing a little Manitoba's fascinating history. Our flight destination, Winnipeg, then a scenic 3-hour drive northwest into Riding Mountain National Park. Winnipeg is the capital city of Manitoba with a population of approximately 650,000. Historically rich, the site of Winnipeg was one of the fur trading posts dating back to 1738. The first actual permanent settlement of the area occurred in 1812. In 1873, Winnipeg was incorporated as a city with a population of 1,869 people. The arrival of the Canadian Pacific Railway in the late 1880s brought a 30-year period of growth and prosperity unequaled in Canadian urban development. Culturally diverse, there are more than 40 different ethnic groups who call Winnipeg home. The province of Manitoba is one of Canada's prairie provinces and, along with Saskatchewan and Alberta, represents the country's heartland as the principal source of such solid commodities as wheat, oil, and beef. The term prairie provinces, however, is a bit of a misnomer, in that most of the region consists of sparsely populated expanses of lakes, rivers, and forests. In fact, the northern two-thirds of Manitoba is riddled with landscape that is quite diverse and populated with wildlife that you would never see on the prairies. Manitoba's natural beauty and fascinating history combine to create a unique vacation destination. Here you'll find a continental-type climate with long and cold winters and relatively short and warm summers. Snow comes in early November and lasts well into April. Winnipeg, for example, generally ranges from highs in the summer of 95+ degrees Fahrenheit to winter lows of -40 degrees. Visitors from the United States are required to have a proof of citizenship upon request when visiting Canada. In order for a U.S. citizen to prove country of residence, a voter's registration, social security card, or driver's license is acceptable. Coming up, I dance the night away Anishinaabe style. And now, back to the Outdoor Journal.
I'm Ojibway, and my mother...
We're back in Southquill Camp in Manitoba, Canada. My guide, Maurice Shenekapo, has invited me to a traditional
The
powwow.
language means to dream. These dances that you've seen performed here for you, they all were given through vision and through dream. Just like the jingle dress dancers. It was a traditional Ojibway healing dance that was given to a grandmother who prayed to the Creator because her granddaughter was very ill. And so in her dream, she was given a vision to make this dress. And today we use all sorts of new items, shiny items, and the jingle cones are made of tin. A long time ago they would have used the deer hooves. So when she made this, it was told to her through dream, through dream, that if she made this dress exactly the way she was told in the dream, and her granddaughter would dance. And as she danced 4 times, she became better. And she was also told to pass this around, this teaching.
Hearing these ancient songs and seeing the dances, I can't help but feel that this is what the explorers must have experienced when they first arrived in this part of the Americas. There's a certain mysticism to all of this, the smell of the smoke, the constant rhythm of the drums. The wonderful thing about this ceremony is how authentic it all is. Even yours, does everybody have a particular costume that means something, or how does this work?
Yeah.
Pardon my ignorance, but how does it work?
Yes, everyone has their own particular colors. Mine, I wear the 4 colors of the 4 races. With my colors, there's actually supposed to be blue instead of the black, and these are given to you when you're given your spirit name as well.
Okay.
And when
you say the 4 colors of the 4 races, obviously, white, black,
yes,
red, yellow.
as well as on my shield.
Okay.
And I believe in this very strongly. Our Ojibway people and different native Aboriginal people of North America all have different prophecies, and our people have told that there was 4 races, and in time that they would come together. And this is why I keep it on my shield. A shield was not really for protection during war, but it was rather a family crest or something that you strongly believed in. And I myself, I believe in unity of all nations.
It's not every day one gets to see a traditional powwow, but it's even rarer to be honored at such an event. And guess who they're going to pick to dance in the circle of the elders? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Lucky these steps are simple. With the whole camp watching, I certainly wouldn't want to be a cultural embarrassment. First, I dance around the circle with the elders. Next, we'll meet and greet the other dancers and visitors in a line. It's like a receiving line at a wedding party. Once all the handshaking and the hellos are over with, we can all dance into the night.